Hey everybody, today I'm doing my bike ride out in closer to where I live, kind of only 5 minutes from my house, getting started out here. And the reason is usually I take my bike on the back of my uh, car on a bike rack, take it down to a bike path. Today I won't be on bike paths, it's mostly on the road, but it hopefully is a little less crazy. And I just want to show you a little bit why. I live out here on the outskirts of the valley. I'm on top of a bridge right now, and you can see maybe the haze that's in the air. It's just pretty dang polluted today. Normally you could see all the way across the valley. You can see Camelback Mountain out there in the distance. You know, so we're surrounded by mountains. I'm just gonna do a little walk around. We're gonna go up past this mountain up here called Scar Mountain, and then over there is the Superstitions mountain range. And here's the bike I'm on today because we're going to be doing some hills. I'm taking the e-bike, my electric assist bike. It's called Ohm. Maybe I'll do a little, when I stop, I'll do a little recap of the bike. But let's go ahead and get started on the bike ride. I always wear a helmet. Got my helmet here. Got my hat. Take it easy. All right, here we go. So I'm taking the e-bike today partially because of the pollution, but also because it's a hilly ride, and we'll be out on the road, and it's nice to have a little extra oomph when you're going up these big hills, and there are some big hills coming up here. So we start going uphill, which it's hard to tell on videos. I notice when I watch other cyclists riding on hills, they don't see the hills. And also one thing is I have a feeling that the camera makes it look like I'm a lot closer to cars than I am. I feel pretty safe here in my little bike path, although I hate to say it, there have been a few cyclists who have been killed on this road, and I know that's kind of scary. Usually by a distracted driver, somebody texting, or somebody who isn't paying attention. They just run right in the back of people. So let's hope that doesn't happen today. Here's that bridge I was on. I'm going underneath it and headed up towards Usery Pass, and a loop that I used to do when I was on my road bike pretty much every day. I would do this at my lunch hour and come up and do this grueling hill. Felt I was in the Tour de France. Now on this side we're going to be going downhill when we get up to the top. But anyway, I might not talk as much on this ride, we'll see. Just kind of point out a few things. Luckily, since I'm on the e-bike, I won't be that winded. I am using a normal mode, which says on my bike when I got on it, I'll go 80 miles of range, which is crazy. Yeah, I'm one of those people who ride on the road, pretend I'm a car, and turn left. Always downshift when you come to a stop, so it's easier to get started again. Okay, so on this route, and it looks kind of busy today, unfortunately, is where people go out to recreational areas to go riding on their quads or fishing or just to the lake. We're not that far from one of the lakes that's nearby called Saguaro Lake. And straight ahead is, I don't know if you can see it in the haze, that Superstition mountain range. So as I mentioned, I used to be a road biker, so I kind of tend to feel a little bit more comfortable on the road, and that I should. You can't be too careful always. You can never assume that anybody can see you or is paying attention. I am most afraid of people hauling boats. perfect timing. Sometimes when they're hauling their boats, they might not realize that that boat is swaying into my bike lane. Yeah, that felt pretty close, didn't it? It wasn't that close, but I heard it coming. So I stay far over here next to the curb as possible. It's a little bit more bumpy, but I try to get away from them. I mean, just the rear view mirror of some of these trucks can knock you down. So, oh, look at the Christmas tree. There's a tree here that they decorate for Christmas. Still decorated in March. Yeah, there's somebody with a canoe or kayak going up to the river. And you can see on my right, when you see these trees with the yellow flowers on them, that's a Palo Verde. Palo Verde means green tree. And the bark is green. The leaves are green, but when it blooms, and there are different types of them. You see that there's some of them that aren't blooming. There are some that are very, very yellow. Those tend to be the natural or native plants. Here's one on the right. Actually, that's probably not a native plant because of the way it's been built. When you see Palo Verdes or any trees in the desert, they don't look like that. They don't look like trees. You know what? Let's ride on the sidewalk. The heck with it. There's nobody on the sidewalk. Except safer. So, trees in the desert, and maybe I'll have an opportunity to show you one that how they naturally grow. They're really gigantic bushes. You know, I mean, these are all pruned to have one stalk, trunk, and they come out with branches at the top because that's our ideal version of a tree, like an umbrella. But when you see them in the desert for real, they're just gigantic bushes. They go all the way to the ground. The branches all just cover the ground and provide a nice habitat for maybe coyotes or javelinas or bobcats or, you know, some of the desert animals to sleep in. The cactus you see on my right, you don't want to fall on one of those puppies. It's a staghorn cholla. The ones that look like this, some of them are blooming right now, so maybe we'll see some blooms. That's not. This is a landscaped area for a neighborhood, so staghorns might not necessarily be too native to this area. Man, some of these truck cars are loud. I am going out on a busy road, it looks like. It is what it is, boys. Look at those Palo Verdes. Sunday morning at about 9 o'clock. So I guess people had their breakfast and now are hitting the road to go play in the sun. It's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous day today. It's probably like 75, 80 degrees right now. Perfect weather. Dry as a bone. I have water to drink, so. See a gigantic saguaros. That's that big, huge cactus with the arms on it. Gotta get back in the road here. You see the bike path here is pretty big, and there is a runoff into the dirt if I don't feel comfortable with the cars approaching me. Look at this pretty Palo Verde. Now the thing is, if you're allergic to Palo Verdes, this is a horrible time to be here. My next door neighbors, they actually leave. They go away for a few months while the Palo Verdes are blooming. Now we're heading into the real desert. Over on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side, this is natural Sonoran desert. The saguaros, the ones with all the little arms sticking up out of the ground are called acatillos. Some of those are blooming right now. Palo Verdes, mesquites, the barrel cactus, all of these are natural. It's probably, to me, oh my, there's a rattlesnake in the road. Dead one. You will see rattlesnakes out here. Too bad he got squished. I'm not opposed to snakes. They keep down the rodents, you know. So if you live out here and you have a car, the rodents will come and eat all your wires in your car if you park it outside. I don't park my cars outside. I hope you can hear me. A lot of car noise. To the right, and I'll stop for a second up here because I want to get a picture of it, is Usery Pass Mountain. Usery Pass Mountain is also called Scar Mountain. Today, because of the haze and the way the light's hitting it, you can't necessarily see that scar. It's basically a band of sedimentary rock when this mountain was part of the landscape, and probably a huge glacier or lake back in prehistoric times. And the mountain got pushed up, and you can see that layer way up towards the top of the mountain. And if you get up there, and you can hike up there, there's a hike called the Wind Cave Hike. You can hike up almost to the top of the mountain, and you can see actually sea creatures in that sedimentary rock way up there on top of the mountain. Crazy. Oh, I love my e-bike. I am just flying. Doing about 14 miles an hour. You might see it on my thing. On my handlebars. Hey, thanks for subscribing, for all my new subscribers who came from Steve's channel. I really appreciate it. I'm really just doing this for fun. If I get a lot of subscribers, it's great. But it just gives me a chance to get out. It kind of motivates me to get out and ride, to make a video. And you might be saying, well, I really like the videos when you're on the bike paths. It's a lot quieter. That's true. That's true. But, you know, there is a lot of desert and beautiful scenery here, too. If you can see it, I'm gonna stop when I get a little closer. But on the left-hand side of the road, up on the mountain, holy cow, it's noisy. Up on the mountain is a sign that says Phoenix with an arrow. I don't know if you see it yet. And that was put together, or what, constructed with rocks and paint a long time ago in 1940s by a Boy Scout club to let pilots know which way was Phoenix. I mean, you couldn't miss it from the air today because Phoenix is so huge. But back in the 40s, Phoenix wasn't that big. And when you're out here in the desert just cruising around, you might go, which way is Phoenix? Well, they put this gigantic sign on the mountain called, with the arrow. It says Phoenix. And each of those letters on that sign, or painted rocks, is over 100 feet tall, about 12 feet wide. Crazy. Crazy. You know what? If I can, I'll pull over so we can see it. I'm gonna go in the dirt for a little bit. I think there's a road up here where I can pull in. Looks like somebody's been cleaning up the desert. There's a lot of like piles of debris, garbage. Once a year, well, twice a year, we have a thing with my company where I'm able to take time off and donate my time. And once a year, I use one of those days to come out here, clean up the desert. I just get one of those little, you know, things where you can pick up garbage and stuff. I don't reach down and pick it up because there's snakes. And one time, actually, I was coming out here, picking up garbage, and sure enough, there was a snake right in front of me. I was scared the heck out of me. It was poised to strike. It was a rattlesnake. But some of you might not like rattlesnakes. Oh, wait, here is Usery Mountain Regional Park. Look at all the people out here. This is where I went on that hike, Steve, right here. That mountain hike. I'm not going to necessarily go all the way in, but let's go in a little ways so you can see the mountain. It's a little quieter out here anyway. Get away from that noise. There is a charge to get in. I don't know what it is now. Let's see if it tells us as we get closer. I don't have it now, but I had a yearly pass, and I usually buy a yearly pass. One to help support this park. You know, a lot of times they're not getting a lot of funding anymore, but this is a beautiful park, Usery Mountain Park, and you can go hiking, biking. You can come out and camp out here. They have a nice nature center, and you will see some wildlife occasionally. So this is, let's pull over here next to this Palo Verde. So this is a natural Palo Verde. Look how yellow it is. Isn't that crazy? Oh, there's a lizard down there. I don't know if you can see it. Scooting around. Anyway, this is Usery National Park. And then, let's see if this works. Let's zoom in a little. Can you see the Phoenix sign up on the mountain? Again, those letters are 100 feet tall. 100 feet tall. That's ridiculous. I've been up there and it's massive. I mean, really, if it was a person on that sign right now, you wouldn't notice it. And it looks like it needs some paint, so we need to get... It is busy today. I was hoping that on a Sunday morning it might not be as busy. You know, people may be coming back, that people already started their day, but looks like there's a lot of day boaters going out to the lake. What does it say? Oh, you know what? Let me see what it says for the fee for cars. I wonder if there's a fee for bikes. Entrance fee per vehicle is now $10. It used to be $7, so it's gone up a little bit. Right here is the entrance to a bike trail. Now, because I live out this way, there is an entrance to the bike trail off of another road where a lot of people park and don't pay. You know, it says you can pay, but they don't. They just ride around, because it's not like there's a park ranger out there pulling people over and asking for their tickets. But it's better if you're going to a national park, or this is a regional park, you know, pay, because you know, you have to support that park. You know, they you know, somebody has to man the park. They have to go and clean up the trails, fix it up, keep it nice for us, and it's better not to, you know, be cheap and save your $10 and come in the side route. Or if you go in the side route, you know, put the $10 in the box that's there at the entrance. Very few people do that, I know. Anyway, that's the entrance to Usery Mountain Park. Back on the crazy road. These saguaros that you see on the side next to me are very old. Now, there's different people will tell you how old, but they say that before it gets its first arm, it could be 75 to 100 years old. I've seen saguaros grow from like when they were little, and you know, if you're watering the saguaro in your yard or putting water on it, which isn't good because they can also explode from too much water, they will get maybe 8 to 10 feet in about 30 years. So I believe that these could be 75 to what a beautiful, oh my God, what a beautiful view. Sorry, I got distracted by all the saguaros and all the yellow. All the yellow. Hey, there's a road biker who said hi. all the yellow Palo Verdes. In the trees, you might see some like weird moth hanging out there. Oh, sorry to get distracted. But on the left is a shooting range. It's pretty quiet today. Usually when I'm driving by here, I hear pop, 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 pop. And I'm always worried that somebody's gonna miss. And shoot the other way, please. Don't shoot towards the road. Anyway, what was I saying? Palo Verdes. Oh, the stuff that's hanging in the trees on the Palo Verdes I don't know if you see it, some of them. If I find it, I'll stop and show you. It's actually called desert mistletoe. It's a plant that grows in the tree with no roots. It's an air plant. And just hangs there. There's Pop. Yeah, hear it? Hear it? Shotguns. Pull! Anyway. I'm nothing against people going to the shooting range and shooting. I mean, this used to be out in the middle of freaking nowhere, and now there's houses right around the corner. I can see them right there. Yeah, anyway. So there's different kinds of cholla out here too. We saw staghorn before. Now you see these ones are a little taller with the hanging beads. That's a hanging fruit cholla, or cholla with hanging cholla. It's crazy how these chollas work. They will stand there and deal with the wind blowing on them and pushing them all over the place. But as soon as you just slightly brush up against it, it'll hook into you and hang on to you for dear life. So you don't want to get anywhere near them. The scariest ones are what they call jumping cholla, which we haven't seen any of those just yet. But a jumping cholla is one that has almost a translucent barb on the top of their prickers. So when you brush by it, you don't even notice it, and then they're all over you. You will see a little bit more road bikers out here than people like me on an e-bike. And this isn't a typical e-bike. You don't hear the motor too much. It's really not. I'm actually pedaling quite a bit. Although going up that hill is nice and easy. Here's a hike you can get into on the side by avoiding to pay. Now, they want you to pay. There's a little box to pay, and maybe people pay out. But you can get into the park right there without that. Now we're going downhill, so forgive the clickety sounds. Can't avoid it. See if I can gear up and go faster. This is the downhill part where at one time I got it to almost 50 miles an hour. Now the scary part about this downhill is that not the cars so much, but animals. I've had a coyote jump out in front of me as I was going down this hill at over 40 miles an hour. That's not a pleasant thing to see. So I'll be tapping my brakes. The other reason I took this bike is, sorry about the noise. That is noisy, isn't it? Is the hydraulic brakes. I have hydraulic brakes on this bike, hydraulic disc brakes, so I can kind of slowly brake all the way down without melting my wheels. And it is all downhill. Now, you know, the good thing about going downhill is you get to go fast. It's really exciting. But since I'm doing a loop, guess what that means? I have to come back up this hill. There's a fire department. Green truck and the rural fire department. All right, I might put music over this because it's going to be a lot of clickiness. Watch for pedestrians. Oh yeah, okay. You know why? It's because people park on the other side of the road and cross over for the trails. There's a huge mountain bike trail here, and you can see all the mountain bikers. On my right, there's a lot of them, and there's also a horse trail. So mountain bike and horses. All right, I'm gonna cruise down this hill and keep my mouth shut, or I might catch a bug in it. I'll catch you at the bottom. Nah, I can't keep my mouth shut. Straight ahead, way out there in the distance, is Fountain Hills in Scottsdale, Arizona. You might see the mountains through the haze. Sometimes you can actually see the fountain in the air. All right, quiet, Chris. Coast. Bike path is nice and big here, almost as big as the road. Isn't that nice? I'm just kidding. "32 miles an hour. I'm not as aerodynamic as I was on my road bike, which is probably a good thing. It's slowing me down. Haven't touched the brakes. So when I used to ride this on a lunch break, you know, this is the fun part, going down the hill. I would go all the way down this hill and turn around and come right back up. It's about an 800-foot climb. Hope you can hear me. And in less than a mile. So in Tour de France terms, that's about a class 1 climb, I think. Pretty steep. I used to pass cars. I used to go 45 miles an hour. That's the speed limit here. All right, there's a car out here on the side of the road, which is always dangerous. Just hope they don't open their door. Slow down a little bit. We're good. All right, we're almost to the end. I'll pedal to get rid of the clicky sound. Can't do it. Can't pedal fast enough. Don't have a lot of gears on this bike. You don't really need a lot of gears on an e-bike, honestly. And the bike motor is limited to 18 miles an hour. So if I'm going more than 18 miles an hour, there won't be any electric assist. Unlike other bikes where they have just a motor and a battery, you know, it'll keep going as fast as it can. Oh, we're getting past. Wow, here we go. triathlon bike behind me. He's flying. He's gonna go left. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go up the hill a little bit more. All right, that was a downhill. I'll decide later if I fast forward that because it was kind of long. All right, so here we're going out towards the river, Salt River, and it's kind of a fun bike ride because there's a lot of ups and downs. So if you like getting the exercise, and there's mountains all around. And one of the things that's out here is wild horses. When we head back, we'll go past an area where they typically are. Hopefully we'll get to see some wild horses. These horses were brought out here with the old conquistadors or the missionaries and kind of left behind. And they roam this area by the river. They're protected, and they are truly wild horses. In Australia, they call them brumbies. So there is a bike club called the Brumbies that ride out here on weekends. The Brumbies, I like it. But wild horses. And it makes you think, like, you know, were there ever wild cows? You know, like, at some point maybe there were, like, wild cows, wild horses. They came from somewhere, right? They just didn't get created by humans to ride. They were like donkeys, I guess, and burros. So if you don't know it, the desert is second to the oceans in environments with numbers of types of animals or species, plant species and animal species. There's just an abundance of them in the deserts, and the deserts are obviously pretty varied. This is, again, the Sonoran Desert. The brush you see on the right hand side with the little tiny yellow flowers, that's creosote bush. Creosote is that smell that when you're near railroad tracks, they used to put creosote oil on the railroad ties, and that's that smell. And so if you get up next to these creosote bushes and rub your hands on them, they will smell just like that. The other thing is, there is a outcropping of creosote. I think it's out in like the Death Valley. They say it's the oldest plant on Earth, the oldest living plant on Earth, I should say. Because they're almost impossible to transplant. Because when you see one, they're actually all interconnected with the mother plant. I mean, they're not just one plant. So if you cut out one, you're cutting out the root system and it won't live. I have one in my backyard. I bought it from a nursery that grew it from seed. It's now about 6 feet tall. But they're very hard. Oh, hedgehog, beautiful. Sorry, I should stop and take a picture for you. Some of the plants are in bloom. All right, here's somebody stopped on the road. And they're getting ready to go. Maybe they stopped to use the bathroom or something. Ay, ay, ay. You see me? Yes. Okay. Dead skunk, nice. Huh. We're seeing everything out here in the desert. Alright, I probably won't go too far on this road. It's a little too busy today than I thought it would be. Thought it'd be a little bit quieter. And I hope the road noise, the car noise isn't too annoying. Motorcycle noise. So this area where you see these people pulling off, this is actually usually a horse trail. I mean, there's cars here without horse trailers, so I guess they're probably bike riding or hiking. And then somebody probably has a quad or something, but they're mostly for horses. There's some paddle boarders. So we're coming across the river now. Let's see how full it is. Oh, there's a lot of water in there. I'll take us down by the river. A lot of paddle boarders down there, kayakers. Dogs. Let's get down there by the river. Check it out. There's quite a few people here. It is a beautiful day, so I guess that makes sense. Can't turn in there anymore. Okay. So when I was in college, people would come down here. This is where you tube the river. You bring your inner tube and you park on one end of the river, and somebody parks on the other end, and then you tube all the way down. Or you could take a bus that takes you up to the top of the river, and you tube down to where the bus parking lot is. And this is the spot. Oh, I hate these things. Hang on. And this is the spot where people would just stop and maybe chill. A lot of alcohol happening and other activities in this particular spot. Now, I don't go to the river anymore, go tubing or any of that stuff. It's just not as it's not clean. I mean, there's no bathrooms in the river, if you know what I mean. So I just don't feel, you'd see things floating down the river that aren't very nice. There's quite a few people here. You do have to pay to park, and the whatchamacallit, the park ranger will come out here and he will ticket you if you don't have a thing. So let's pause here. Not too sandy. Now this is not a mountain bike, but it has fatter tires, so this little bumpity road won't be too bad for it. I hope, because it's a long walk home. But let's get out towards the river. All right, time for a drink of water. Put that down there. Let's take a look at the river. Let's walk down that way. You can see the river rock. They call it River Rock for a reason. We're next to the river. So let's go over this way so I don't interrupt those people getting on their paddle boats. It's quite that walk down here. It's kind of hike from the parking lot. There's a few people fishing, just sitting under the bridge, get some shade. So I would say the water's not flowing too much today. It's not fall, Chris. Fishing. You can see the paddle boarders. I left my bike up on the hill. That's the bridge we came over when we got here. I think it's called Blue Point Bridge. It's a nice little bend in the river where it slows down quite a bit. Looks like you'd have to paddle to get down the river. There we go. This can be the thumbnail. Let's do it this way. There we go. My trusty steed. This is the Ohm Discover from a company out of Canada. I got a bag on the back, my bottled water, my helmet. It's funny, I have a different helmet for a different bike. Here's the scene that we're in. You can see the mountains around. Let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. Gotta zoom in? Yeah. Very hazy today. Very, very hazy. And the bridge. People cruising down the river. It's kind of a nice sight. This is the part, this is where you start. You start a little bit further up. The water is very cold because it comes out of the bottom of the dam. So that water is chilly. And then it bends around up here and then goes down to where our next stop is. All right. Hey, I'm taking a little break here because first I have a little water, a little snack, but also this little camera that pops out and you put on your chest only lasts about, I'd say, 20 to 30 minutes before you have to charge it again. And it charges up pretty fast. It's already about 60% charged after about 10 minutes, so that's pretty good. But something for Steve to note, if you're going to go for a long walk and you just want to keep it on your chest, it's probably only going to last 20 to 30 minutes. Then you got to pop it back into here where it charges itself, and that thing probably lasts a couple hours. So that's pretty good. All right, back on the bike in a bit. Okay, I'm back after a little pit stop of recharging the bike and recharging me. Had a little bit of liquids and some fluid and water and electrolytes, and off we go. Been quite a few horses here. You know, you think it's funny, it's like clean up after your dog, but no one cleans up after their horse. You know what I mean? I guess it biodegrades. Yeah, I used to park over here for tubing. It was a huge deal back in the old day. And this spot on the right where all these little trees are and stuff was actually a place to park because it got to be so crowded. You overflow parking and park right here. And they had like food trucks and all kinds of stuff. But it's kind of, I think the tubing, well, it's not tubing season yet. It's only March. It's crazy. It's warm enough to be in the water, I guess. But yeah, what was that about? All right, now I have to get back on the road. I apologize again for the road noise. There's a cattle guard. Whoa, look at all the cars coming back. All right, I'm gonna go up this way a little bit and then turn around. Get on the other side of the road. And as you, yeah, Blue Point Recreation Center is the name of this bridge, Blue Point, and it's where the river bends and it slows down quite a bit right there. So back on the highway, I guess. And this is actually, is this Bush Highway? No, this might be Bush Highway, yeah. This actually is a highway. I don't know, what do you think about this? This is true Arizona. For sure. A lot of people out doing their, you know, they're driving to the recreational areas or just taking a drive, you know, Sunday drive. You see a lot of motorcycles taking that Sunday drive out to the lake and back or up further and back. This is the way you would go from my house up to northern Arizona to like Pine Top or Prescott or Show Low. It's when you're going up north, this is the kind of the back route. And right now we are on the Bush Highway. Not named after George Bush or his son. This is named after someone else. It might be because of bushes, I don't know. But it's called Bush Highway. On the right is a giant mesquite tree. Oh, I'm sorry, ironwood tree. I take it back, ironwood. Ironwood trees are extremely old trees, slow growing trees. So when you see a big ironwood, you know it's really old. All right, even with electric assist, I have to pedal a little bit harder here. Putting a little effort in. Here we go, up the hill. This is the tubing spot over on the right. This is where they have buses and you can rent inner tubes. It's not open just yet to the public because I think it opens in May. Not sure. Oh, the sheriff is there. Oh, by the way, when I was riding my bike around the parking lot back there were some sheriffs giving some tickets to some of the campers who were in the wrong spot that weren't supposed to be there. So I don't know why the sheriffs are doing it. Usually it's park rangers, but the sheriffs were involved. Maybe there was a rowdy party or something. But anyway, over there is on the right is where people can park, catch a bus, like a school bus, grab a tube, they take you up to the end of the river, you float down and you get off of here, you get in your car, and you want to get home and take a shower as quickly as possible. You don't want to catch something. So we're now going a different way, and where it says here, watch for horses, next 5 miles, it's because this is really where the wild horses are. And they are free to roam here. There are fences on either side of the road to kind of protect them a little bit more. And then there are places where they can cross. But they don't know how to push the crosswalk button, so people have to watch out for them. You wouldn't want to hit a horse anyway. Wouldn't make your car look very good. So we're going back a different way, and I'm going to stop at a recreation center area up here, and then that'll be the end of the video. So again, I hope you're enjoying it. It's a little bit of a longer one. I do want to say to Steve, yeah, the little camera, when you put it around your neck like this one, doesn't last that long. The battery kicks off after, I don't know, say 20 minutes. So hopefully it'll make it to our next spot, but I did charge it for a little ways when we took a break. Pause it for a bit. Thought I'd stop just to get a picture. Now this is really a pretty area. That's Red Mountain there. And then catch you at the next stop. Yeah, this is where I wanted to go, and unfortunately looks like it's under construction. But you can get an idea of the trees. See how the trees go straight to the ground? And they create a little natural habitat for animals. Like, what a great place to sleep underneath there, right? If you're a coyote, and a place for garbage to linger. But it looks like they're fixing this up. Unfortunately, it looks like they tore down a lot of trees. This used to be just full of mesquites. So that's too bad. There's somebody camped out there probably just to keep an eye out. Nobody's down here. But that's Red Mountain there. That's where the river kind of comes to a little bit of a halt because there is a dam there. All right. Okay, so let's stop it here today. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. For those folks who are new, who are hopped onto the channel, I really appreciate it. I'll try to keep these, they're probably pretty lengthy videos. I put a few shorts out there too. But you can always fast forward if you want, or cut across to the part you like. Um, Thanks again. This is Chris signing out. See you on the next adventure. Bye.